hope is by drafting a Walter Nolan is that everybody said, listen, everybody, I hate to be that guy. Yeah. We stood on the table and we said, and if you didn't listen to what Duke Tobin said, everybody's basically saying Lou Anarumo is why the defense was not as good as it could have been. That's what people are sitting on the table are saying. So you know what they're saying? By us drafting Walter Nolan, it's going to unlock Joseph Ossai because Lou Anarumo couldn't do it. You know what Walter Nolan's going to do? He's going to unlock the Miles Murphy. You want to know why? Because Lou Anarumo couldn't do it. That's what that pick is saying. Yeah. So edge is not going to be something that they're going to be like, hey, we're going. If they draft Walter Nolan, they think Walter Nolan solves all their issues on the defensive line. Because they're going to say we have enough talent in that room to bring get the most out of it. Is that a back-ass words way of thinking? 100%. 100%. Because at some point, the players got to play. You could talk about a player all you want, being great, this, that, and the third, and wanting to see them take that next step. At some point, they've got to play. Yeah. But if you're going out there, we drafted Walter Nolan with the first pick, okay? If you're willing to pass up on edge, right? If you're willing to pass up on edge in the first round, you cannot conceivably sell to me that they think edge is that big of a need. They're not looking at the guys in the second round and saying, hey, you know what? Let's go edge. Mm-hmm. We can go edge in the second round. If they punt on edge in the first round, they're saying, we don't need edge guy. We believe we have all the talent in the room. It's the reason why we brought back Joseph Ossai. It's the reason why we have Cam Sample in the building still. It's the reason why we have it's the reason why Miles Murphy is now going to be entrenched as a starter. They're going to give that guy every opportunity to win the job. So I listen, how I feel about it, if the Bengals don't draft an edge in round one, they're not going to draft an edge. That's how I feel.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I don't go to the extreme that they just don't draft one altogether.
Okay, sorry. They might draft one in the back end of the round. They're not going to spend it in the second round.
I will tell you, I agree because I think there's more egregious needs. Like we said, I think there is a real starter spot to be had at guard. There's a starter spot to be had at defensive tackle. I feel like that's what the early round picks are going to be. And I think that lines up with what the Bengals like to do because like I talked about with Mike Green, with James Pierce, it's not even just a round thing. It usually is a mid rounds when they're willing to deviate a little bit more. This is still kind of a premium pick being top 50. If, you know, Skirton and Michael Williams and Landon Jackson are all off there, I don't know if we see them deviate from what they want to do when you have these kind of offensive linemen that they love in Tate Ratledge, in Jared Wilson, in Jonas Savina, and maybe even in Ariante Ursi. Like in any of these guys, you have potential with tackle guard, but they would love to have. And then you can look at edge player that is more their speed in the third round where JT Tumaloa, Jared Ivey, if he's still there, Elijah Roberts, Ashton Gelati, Jordan Birch, Savion Jones. These guys are all 6'6", 280, 6'3", 275, 6'5", 260. These are much more traditional edge rushers for the Bengals, and they do have pass rushing upside. These guys aren't like terrible prospects by any stretch, but they are similar tier but different style to these second round guys, and I think you can get a handful of them in the third.
So and I agree with you. We are agreeing right now. Let me just say that if I sound
I know you're disgusted by how they're handling
I'm disgusted because I don't think it should be one or the other. I don't think it has to be one or the other.
It doesn't.
But all the tea leaves, all the mouthpiece things they're telling mouthpieces around the organization to put out, and they're putting that stuff out there, it seems like it's one or the other. It's either we get a game-changing interior defensive lineman or we get a game-changing edge rusher. There's not a both scenario there. Yeah. There's not a both scenario there. But either way, they tell you, hey, we're fine with our young defensive tackles and we're fine with our young edges or giving our edges every opportunity to win the job.
Guys, we got to stop precluding drafting talented prospects in the first round because the Bengals went out and signed a D-tier veteran off the street. We are happy to have TJ Slaton on the roster as a body, but we got to stop being like, why would we draft somebody when we have TJ Slaton to start? Yeah. You have TJ Slaton to start in the way that you could throw freaking, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Any of these guys, you have a body to wear a jersey to be out there on the first snap of the game. That's what you mean, because In no way does a guy who has 3 sacks and 40 total pressures and 800 pass rush snaps preclude you from drafting somebody who might even be a better run defender than him in the first place right now. So saying that like we have a warm body with a pulse to put out there as a starter, like that's like saying we shouldn't have a guard because we have Patrick, whatever the fuck his name is,
Lucas Patrick,
like or Lucas Patrick. Yeah, like I that's like, oh yeah, we're good at guard. We're solid. Like we have Cody Ford. No, like if you have a good prospect at a position that you desperately need that can immediately be your best starter on the team, like what are we talking about?
They also put out a video with TJ talking about himself, and the thing he said was, hey, I'm excited. I know I'm going to come in and be this dominant run stuff. So he knows that.
Well, that's like, again, like, are we saying, hey, BJ Hill's just going to be your best pass rusher at D tackle for the next 2 years? Like, come on. Like, that's not a plan. That's
and the thing is, I don't fault people for saying that.
Yeah.
That's what
there are 4 defensive tackles on the roster, guys. 100%. That is not enough. On top of the fact that McKinley Jackson is a nose tackle. I know we're all.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir.
I know we're all hoping that he magically develops to some sort of pass rusher when he looked inconsistent as a run defender already. The thing he's supposed to be good at, getting pushed around. Why are we overrating him so hard? Because suddenly he's in Bengals colors now. Like,
are you speaking to the mass or are you talking
just
on the panel?
To the ether, to everyone?
Okay,
I know
I'm not
agree.
there. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I
love Chris Jenkins. I'm thrilled with the Chris Jenkins pick. I'm not sitting here telling you that Chris Jenkins showed me anything that after my hopefulness of the draft, that he did anything concrete to be like, I have taken a big step forward and I can be the pass rusher next year.
And even
because
if,
I didn't see that.
Believe that.
Right.
So
one pass rusher is not enough. Like, that's the thing is like BJ Hill had a good year or 2 of finishing, but like it wasn't even like good. It was like, hey, that's average.
Good job,
yeah,
man.
like we're happy to have it right now because you have DJ Reader next to it, and that's all you needed. But you don't have DJ Reader anymore, and you need something on that interior. Yeah. Like Walter Nolan could easily be the best pass rusher and best run defender immediately. So like that's why you draft them.
Yeah.
Right.